All right, y'all, what's going on? We're going to go ahead and get the day started. Got about a minute until the market opens here, and things are looking pretty flat. And NASDAQ is opening right at flat, and ES is a little bit more bearish, down to negative 0.27%. So tech is just holding on a little bit more here than the S&P. Let's take a look at the book map here. They are pinned right here at 43.77 with all the liquidity lower. We've got a big node at 43.50, 43.62, and 43.69. So we'll see how that really goes into the day. After following a very bearish day yesterday, I am anticipating a pin somewhere around 4,400. And I'll having to say that the bulls have to defend these levels, particularly S1, S2, S3. These levels have to be defended, otherwise we will face some big time destruction. There's SPY coming out with a red candle right on S2. NASDAQ is a little flat right there, and the VIX has popped up to 23.5. Bonds are coming off after having a little flat session, and then the rates, the 10-year rates of 2.93, and they almost breached 3% overnight. They got up to 2.97, so they're getting closer and closer to that line, that 3% line. VIX is kind of poking up here, and we've got a little red and green across the board. Big red now in SPY and the NASDAQ. What up? What up? How you doing? How you doing? All right. And we're figuring out. I've got the option change up and ready to go now. I am looking at the 20-second contracts for SPX. No positions at the moment here. I'm looking at, let's take a look. Oh, come on, E-Trade. Don't mess with me like that. We're going to come out here, uncheck everything. All right, I'm looking at 43.85s, 43.90s, somewhere in there, and then 43.70s. In fact, let's go ahead and bring up 43.90s calls, and that's what I'm looking at here. And then 43.70 puts. No play yet. There's a pretty dang good probability I don't even take a trade today. I need to see something very clear for me to take a trade. I've had a phenomenal week, and I want to make sure I maintain that going into the weekend. I don't want to give much back. Take everything you can, give nothing back. Isn't that what they said in Pirates of the Caribbean? So we'll see. Here's the book map coming out again, 43.75, and like I said, we have all this ladder stuff. Big node down here at 43.30. They just put on a big node at 43.30, and that is a little daunting. That's a little daunting. Take a look at that. Right now, we're still holding the same candle. This 3-minute candle has flipped back and forth like 3 times between red and green, and it's still holding this bottom wick right here. About to close the first 3-minute candle of the day after coming down and just kind of oscillating around pre-market lows around S2. That is ES. All bookmap postings are ES. That's right, Jim. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, yesterday was National Check How High My Puts Went after I closed them day. Everybody was just going through the option chain and looking like, hey, what would happen if I held this put for 4 hours? I would have made a crap ton of money. I think everybody did that. I think it was pretty obvious that the market was going down, but it wasn't obvious that it was going to go down and not even breach the 21 EMA all day long in the 3-minute, which is crazy. That's like in terms of trend, that's like the bearish day we've had, I think, ever. I think this quarter that was the most bearish day we've had in terms of just absolutely no buy up whatsoever. We drop below the 21 and we stay below the 21 on the 3-minute chart all day long, straight down, which was nuts. It's nuts. Usually we get some sort of bounce, retracement, whatever. Nutty to see. Very curious to see where the market's going to go today. We've got a little bounce finally forming. NASDAQ is popping. Holy smokes and roni. Amazon must be popping. Yep, and they are up to 29.83. I love to see it. Love to see it. SPY finally has a green, but it is barely holding. Good morning. Where have you been yesterday? It was crazy. I don't stream on Thursdays. I only stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sam. I do stream in the Discord. I was live in the Discord, just not on YouTube. Yeah, so I'm gonna let this thing just kind of bounce around, man. Like I said, I mean, it's even showing it right now to the open. This candle cannot make a decision. We're just kind of pumping in between each here, between S1 and S2. I'm going to close out an Amazon position here. Stand by. Couldn't even get a fill on that jabroni. All right. All right, so big green was wicked down to red and coming off. Look at that bottom wick candle, or the top wick red candle, and now it's flushing and going back to yesterday. Let's take a look at the top 10. Netflix, that's not a top 10. I need to remove that. Let me see if I can remove Netflix. I don't care about them. Boom, order filled. I just got one order filled. Dang it. All right. I'm closing some Amazon stuff. All right, Apple's the little big green, and then they flipped it red. Microsoft is coming on down. Amazon is still figuring out what it wants to do. Tesla coming off hard. Google's coming down. And, man, look at that. NVIDIA getting smashed. So all of tech is starting to get hosed. And, I'm not posting trades. What does that mean? I post my trades every day. SPY is coming up to 436 and 437. And then VIX right there. What's up? What's up, Jonathan? How you doing? Andre, make sure you're going down in the voice stream. Make sure you're going in the voice stream. That's all right, John. We just got to wait for our trade. Wait for our trade. Let's take a look at the book map. Right now, we are still hovering 43.71. No movement at all from 43.61 to 43.32. And just hanging on the 8. So I'm going to be watching that 8, especially on a trend. The 8, we want to make sure that we breach up or down. Otherwise, if we keep bumping all these things off and coming on down, that's going to be no bueno. Yeah, me neither. Yeah, these candles are jumping all over the place. So in terms of SPX, I'm not trading anything right now. I've got the 43.90 calls up just in case we get any kind of relief bounce from yesterday. But right now, it's still selling pressure. There's no buying pressure at all here. It's all sellers still bringing this down. The volume's coming off just a touch here, but right now, no edge. Just like I said, the market analysis, I do anticipate somewhere around this area. And then if we do breach to the downside, look out because it's gonna be hairy. But would it be wrong to expect the exact opposite of yesterday? Exact opposite of yesterday would be a little extreme. I wouldn't see that. Maybe a little buyer's relief, but I wouldn't expect a full V recovery. But having said that, it is Friday, and the market loves to be bullish on Friday. Bookmap does have SPY. I do not use it. It's way too much. It's a lot of spoofing. There's a crap ton, an enormous amount of volume posted on there, so it's just too much noise. I'd rather just go with the big dogs and go with the ES because that's that one leads the market anyway. Wow, look at that. All right, XLF, let's take a look there. They are flat. XLC is flat. XLY is coming off. XLV. Man, XLV, healthcare's coming off now, straight down. XLK is still flat there. Let's go take another look to the big dogs here. Apple's still flat. Everything's pretty much just choppy to flat. Tesla is a little negative, but everything's pretty much the same thing. Choppy to flat to slightly negative. Double D, nice. Up 22% on an Apple put. I've got the SPX 43.90 up still, but no trades, no trades. No, I post all my trades live, Alex. You know, I can't. I'm trading so many positions on the cross trade. I can't post everything, every single thing, always live. I just post the high confidence stuff live for you all. Kind of like what Vet does in tier two. You know, like we both can't just post everything. We're not octopus. Octi. Is it octi or octopus? Octopi. Look at that red candle. Huge red candle. J-Powell single-handedly taken SPY down. Well, he single-handedly propped it up for 2 years, so I think it's only fair that now he gets to bring it down. Man, big sell-off here. 434, 435. XLF is still holding on. XLV still selling off here, but yeah, SPY is tanking now, as long as NASDAQ is getting a little red here too. So that's a breach of S3. Significant level. We've breached S1 and S3, are both of which significant. If, let's see, ES is now 43.58. And if we break below that, man, let's take a look at what Bookmap's saying here. Look at that. I mean, it's all the liquidity is pulling us lower. There's absolutely nothing above us, which is a little spooky. There's nothing above us. Everything is below us. So watch for move lower here. Watch for move lower. Big red, that's a move down from 436 and 15 to 434. That's a pretty significant candle going on, a $2 candle there. Switch over. I'm going to take a look at the Heiken Ashes real quick on the 3-minute and adjust over to the 5-minute. 5-minute candle, 15-minute candle. Very bearish candle. And then, of course, the 30-minute, which we're only halfway through the 30-minute candle. So, and there is a 30-minute candle there. Yeah, and doing my analysis, like it's phenomenal. If you go back into the 1-year chart, the daily chart, and go back to look at all the history, it's actually quite interesting how often we bounce almost down to the cent. Multiple times we bounce off support, and that goes back to like 6-7 months, and then how we reject off resistance. And that's not a coincidence. There's a reason why that happens. I'm talking down to the cent over the course of the past 6 months. We'll go to the same spot and we'll bounce, and we'll go to the same resistance and reject. And that's why it's very important to do that historical analysis, historical charting. Nice, Jonathan. Well done. Looks like they're bringing this to 43.50 on ES. 43.55 right now. And already off pre-market, we're down from 438.30 to 434.5. We're already down $4 from pre-market highs, and we're only 13 minutes in. Yeah, everything is bright red and just absolutely screaming. Absolutely screaming. So, yeah, I'm not making that mistake again. Booyah. Am I considering calls when it hits the big node? Oh, man, I'm not considering calls at all. This just looks like another continuation of yesterday. Another continuation of yesterday. Maybe on some retracement here, but until I see any kind of buyer's relief, I'm just going to play it down. Just play it down. First trade of the day right there. All the way down. All the way down. Still continuing yesterday, man. We're still continuing yesterday. Love the feeling to have a good trail order locked in. I feel you, man. I feel you. Trailing orders is great. They would have saved me yesterday. I would have had a 400 and something % win if I would have just did a trailing stop yesterday instead of canceling or limiting order. So, yeah, trailing orders can do wonders for you. All right, so there's 434.44 on SPY. I'm sorry, yeah, SPY, and then Nasdaq's got a little green. VIX has popped up to 24.44, and we'll see what happens. So we're now already down below our S4, going to S5, and it's just crazy. We're just absolutely tanking, absolutely tanking. And close that baby out already. Excellent. So starting the day out with nearly a 20% win. I will take it. If we break down below here and go to S5, who knows where we're going? I mean, we already bounced off that. We ate up through the 43.50 right there. And now that there's no liquidity, the next stop is 43.30. And there's a huge node at 43.30. So if that goes, then dang, we're gonna scream. And that's still another 19 points below where we currently have. Had a very rough week. Closed half my losses on the trade. Nice, awesome, D-Buck. Awesome, awesome stuff. Amazon's still holding up very well. Still holding up very well. All right. So tech's still holding up, and SPY has got a little green candle that's just under S3. And let's see how that's going to go. No positions closed out that put. I would be honestly, who knows? I'm just playing this thing as it comes because if this screams all the way down just like yesterday, that would be an incredibly bearish situation, which would lead us into once we reject this double top again, this is 4,500. Well, right now it's probably like a quadruple top, and come on down. The charts already are set up very bearish, and if we continue to scream down, it will be very dire going into next week. I wouldn't like that setup. What's a trailing order? A trailing order is you set an order where it's pretty much hands off. I know a lot of people, it takes the fear of will this bounce on you, because it sets, what it does is that you set a trailing stop on your broker where when a price crosses a particular level, it sets a limit order for you and closes out the position. So in the event that thing oscillates, or if you're taking a put, for example, and it starts to bounce, it'll set you a limit order and get you out of the position. I took SPY puts and cashed out at 35%. There's probably more to be had, but I had a lot to do today. Nice. Well done, Jim. Nice. Awesome, LeVar. Yeah, that's the problem with trailing stops. That's why I know with E-Trade, if you try to set a trailing stop, it'll give you a little warning that says it pretty much don't rely on a particular stop. Like it'll set it wherever it needs to. So you got to be careful doing that. You may get a suboptimal fill. Exactly, Slady. Exactly. There is, Sam. There is a trailing stop on options. So I would encourage you all is just to continue to play the downtrend until it tells you otherwise. I don't even mind taking losses on puts today because as long as you play the trend, you just need to put in stops, and then if it does bounce, then we'll play calls. But until then, play the trend. Yeah, I haven't used the trailing stop on IBKR yet. I've only done that on E-Trade. Hey, look at that. Green candle up to the ADMA. And right under S3. There we go. There we go. All right, what are the top 10 doing? Apple's climbing back up. Microsoft. Amazon's trying, but everything is pretty flat. Tesla, Google, and Facebook. No additional plays yet. This thing's just under S3. One play under our belt. Yeah, it is, Ramacap. It is. We already ate up that huge level at 43.50. Now it's way down there, 43.30. If you've got PCSs that are close, that to me that is spooky. Spooky. Because there's nothing on Bookmap until there's not at one single level on Bookmap until 44.50, and even that is light. So I wouldn't even consider. I mean, there's nothing, absolutely nothing. 40 to 45.20 is anything of any other kind of any significance whatsoever. It's all lower. Huge level at 43.30, and that's about it. Is it a bounce or a fake out? I don't think it's going to be a bounce or a fake out. I think we're just going to kind of oscillate around in this range, maybe slightly downtrend. If there's any risk here, I think it's 43.30. That's a big old level, a big old risky level. But tech is slightly green. We'll say that. 0.5% across the board, except for a couple. Amazon is trying to trickle in with 30, back to 3,000 here. Tesla is kind of V recovering back up to over 10,000 or 1,000. Not 10,000 yet, maybe a couple years. Google's down. Nvidia's kind of back up, so slightly trying to make our way back up. I dabbled in day trading micros this week. Lost my shirt. Back to the old faithful spreads. There you go. That's why you do micros though, so you learn. Advice on entering the trend. That's the hardest part. The first thing you got to do is identify the trend. And then you have to avoid your emotions to get into play. Because like yesterday, which yesterday is an incredible, like after about there, which is about noon my time, that's when to me it becomes difficult. Because usually on a day like today, we get at least like a $2 or $3 bounce. If you go back, maybe a 2 3 before it continues on back down. But seeing this action where it just goes, after about halfway through the day, it gets difficult to trade because at what point, I mean, you start hitting a lot of tough resistance. There was a lot of resistance or supports right here. It just blasted on through that. I don't think anybody realized that it was going to blast through. So when you've got a trend, first you want to form trend lines of which it's going to respect, and then look at the EMAs, because the 8 EMA, the 21 EMA, especially on a trend, it works beautifully. It works beautifully. But there is a certain point where it just starts playing mind games with you. It's like, all right, well, where's this thing going to bounce? So, but yeah, form a trend line, put a position on, and set a stop in place. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. If you get stopped out, so be it. You could set stops tight. You can set them loose, whatever you need. But the best thing, I mean, the best advice I could give you to play a trend is just to enter. I know that's the hardest part is the entering. Just get the play on, because everyone's afraid the second you put a put on, it's going to bounce. And yesterday after about noon, I was the same way. At what point is it going to bounce? So you just got to put a trade on, put a stop on, and forget about it. Still holding S3 here. I've got to mute the YouTube for 1 second. Bear with me. Got to restart my IBKR. All right. A lot of resistance right up there, right down here, 43.50 and change. Right under S3, still no buying pressure whatsoever in the past 2 trading sessions so far. It's pretty crazy to see. Play the trend. What causes days with lots of wicks, scalper or anything in particular? When you've got a lot of wicks like that, indecision, choppy market where there's no clear direction in the market, and that's the hardest stuff to trade is the wicks. When you've got a lot of pushing and pulling. I think, judging by what I'm seeing just on the book map, it looks like we're going to 43.30. There's just nothing. There's nothing, absolutely anything. Even these levels are all weak except for that 43.30. We've already blasted through pretty much every significant support. We're below S1, we're below S3. It's just go. Selling off. Now, I mean, how low can we go on premium? That's what I would look at for somebody. Is there anything to be had that's not too risky way down low? I mean, at this point, 4,300 is not even safe. But let's look. You short the 43.15s? Nice. VIX is still holding 23.80. What do you think of Tesla long above 1120? I don't think we're going to 1120. There's a very good possibility we've already put in yearly highs. The big rocket igniter for this market to have any kind of bullish chance was tech earnings, and look how this is going. Look at this, another sell-off. Oh, 1020. Man, it's hard to see anything bullish at the moment. We've blasted through all critical points. Right now, who knows? Who knows? The obvious sign on Bookmap is 43.30. On Tesla, they didn't hold any levels yesterday. They did have a little buy up here, but we'll see how that holds. But Tesla's so manipulated, it's hard to even calculate anything close by. Facebook still dropping under 187. Love to see that. Oh yeah, I had to go back. There we go. There we go. Forgot about the YouTubers. There you go. Amazon's still dead flat. Microsoft's still flat. Apple's still flat. All of tech is still flat, except for Tesla. They're starting to go higher. Let's take a look at XLK. XLV is getting destroyed. Healthcare. That's because of UNH. UNH is getting destroyed too. XLF, right there. If we took out VWAP and started climbing, maybe we can come back and be a little bullish. We'll see. Ayo, there we go. Yeah, for sure, Nichols. We are very much bears in control. So play the trend until the trend changes. My buddy had a 170 put on Facebook from May 20th. He sold it 2 weeks ago to big loss in the last 2 days. He would have went, ooh, yeah. Well, you don't want to hold anything down 80% anyway. That's just not good practice. So, I mean, big top wick off of VWAP. So what I'm going to do is zoom out here and let's go. I'm going to do a short-term trend and we're going to look at a longer-term trend too. Because this thing is just destroying. Just watch this. Still holding S4. So we went from 450 to 434. It's a $16 sell-off. On SPY. Greg, we took those off and reserved those for tier 2. That's where tier 2 is that's where Vet hang out, the Wealth Solutions channel. Now YouTube's on. That trade you took was at 43.50 or 42.50. Those are 43.55s. I'm sorry, 43.50s. 43.50s. That's what I put. Still no strength. Still pinning S4. No additional trades. No additional trades. All right. So while SPY is kind of shaken out, let's see if we can identify another ticker. Maybe we can get a trade in another ticker. But I don't really see much, honestly. Nvidia's new highs. Look at Tesla. They're making a run for it. All right, so a little green finally broke through that trend, and we're up through the VWAP. That's the first time we've been through VWAP today, or at least holding so far. We did pop it there to begin with, but let's see if we're going to have some bullishness. Is it fair to say that that Tesla is holding up the SPY? I mean, all of tech is pretty green at the moment, relatively. I wouldn't say beast mode green, but relatively. So let's see if we can hold this candle through the VWAP. Let's go to the 5-minute. 5-minute looks decently bullish. It's got to hold this candle though. There's the 15-minute. Terrible candle followed by what's looking like to be a pretty decent candle. NASDAQ coming all the way back up. So NASDAQ is green on the day, surprisingly, and ES is down 0.6. So a little bit of divergence there. Health or financials is very bearish with very little buying volume there. So healthcare and financials both killing the S&P at the moment, with NASDAQ is up. In fact, we may start trading. Maybe we'll do some the NASDAQ trades today. We'll see. Maybe some QQQ trades. Ooh, Amazon going. New highs in the day for Amazon. But SPY still folding flat. Yeah, I'm bummed that TLT is raging. I was looking for a call entry on them yesterday, and it just bounced too soon. But I love making those long-term TLT plays. What happened, Salim? What's happened? Theta killed you. Would you take a put? Still holding VWAP. Let's see if we can reclaim pre-markets if we do go up from here. We just had a big sell volume without much price action in the last 3-minute candle. Would you, let's see. I've got a bullish candle on the 3-minute there. But I do have a top wick. So right now, it's just, there's no clear direction at the moment. I mean, we did have that little jot down here, but we are now trading sideways outside of the trend. So I'm going to leave this trend channel on there to see if it continues, because I just don't like it. Once I form a trend line, I don't like to adjust it until something's glaringly obvious. I'm going to keep that trend line and see if it respects it. We popped it above it. Now we're coming back inside it with some healthy selling. But at the moment now, right, the immediate trend is sideways. Which tells me no trade. What do you think of airlines? Well, it did take a little bump there with the coronavirus news there. So long term, I'm not really bullish on much. I'm still holding all of my Boeing. Well, let's see. The short to long term, I guess you'd say, the medium term. So 2022, I'm not really bullish on much. Long term, though, I'll hold. Boeing is always a buy. Long term. Book map. Let's see it. Still the same. 43.30 is the next point of contention. I can't get the live button to work. How about that for a weekly candle? That is spooky. So we talked about Friday that the market does not like normally to put 3 red weekly candles in a row. And it did it. It looked like it was going to break that. It was going to keep true to that. But yesterday completely changed things. Yesterday was such a bearish day, it completely changed the whole week. We took out, this was an engulfing weekly candle. Now it's closing, it looks like it's going to close to the downside. The only thing we've got going for us here is that the fact that the volume is light. That's it. Now, if we have high volume today for some reason, maybe, but that's the only positive things for the bulls on this chart right now is the fact that this candle is light. But we had a huge long upper shadow. Candle closing, the whole, if this body of the candle closes below this, then it's not looking good for next week. And that's just from a charting perspective now. Back in February, March lows, we had 410 on SPY, 415, and right now we're currently 15, 10, 20 points above that. But in the immediate future, we're still trading flat for today. Today's session is flat. Hey, my trend line went away. I'm still going to keep that trend line up there. Yeah, it's fine. And we're just bouncing off S3, which is a significant level. I increased my put position off the rejection of S3 in concert with my probabilities. In concert with my probability, that's, man, talking all fancy and stuff. What made you decide to start charting with the trend lines? I've always thrown trend lines on there. You want to follow the trends. It's just, a good way for me to visually represent trends with you all is through a line, because of the videos. So it's good to put those on there. Always got to follow the trend. No plays so far. All of tech sold off that little pop and just trading sideways. Tesla's coming off here. Looks like we just going to put in session lows. And there we did. No, not yet. Now we did it. New session lows. Going down. NASDAQ's coming off big time. Why is Tesla down there? VIX is kind of popping up, but new session lows. This market is incredibly, incredibly weak. It's looking dicey. It's looking dicey. It looks like we're going for trend down. Still going on down. They're going to take this thing under 430. Nice, John. Well done. In your experience, how does this current market compare to the ones you... this is definitely the most difficult market ever. The past 3 months have been incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. It's been a very, very volatile and very large range in which we've been chopping in. I mean, look at this. This has been... I mean, we've been pretty much flat since July, August. It's just in a very large range. We went from 424 to 479 into 410 and to 461 and now back to 430. So we just have this huge range in which we're oscillating, and now we're picking a move on the up down. The big overall pattern from way back then is going to be a very, very wide broadening formation, which is just indicative of volatility. When you see this type of price action, this tells me increasingly higher highs, increasingly lower lows, which is very volatile. And eventually, this thing is going to break out the top. Now, where do you think the risk is on this chart? I'm sorry, to break out one of the sides, and the risk, to me, is to the downside. And that's the issue here. And if we were to kind of trade this trend, we're talking under 400, which I think is highly probable in the next 2 months. So doing poor these last few months may not indicate... No, not at all. Not at all. That's why I made that tweet yesterday, is like who's been discouraged by the past few months, because this is incredibly difficult market, incredibly different market. If we're learning during this time, could it pay off long? Absolutely. That's the golden, the silver lining, is that when you're learning in the most difficult conditions, it's like, learning football by learning from NFL players. You're learning from the best, so you're learning from the hardest skill level. Holy cow! This thing is going under 430. Straight absolute sell-off. Let's see here. That's right. That's right, Chris. All right. It is 9:20 Central, 10:20, and we're already at S5. Straight sell-off. We're already $5 off of pre-market highs. 50 points on ES. And another red candle. Sell-off through S5, and down we go. Straight selling off. There we go. One candle after another. We are entering capitulation phase. Watch out for this stuff. This is starting to get very, very heavy. We're now 18 points off of yesterday's highs. 17 points. Nice, Lone Wolf. Well done. All right, so let's take a look what they did. That 43.30 level is still there, still increasing. At what point do you buy more puts in this market? I mean, keep playing the trend down. Keep playing the trend down. And 43309, 4313. Wow. Bookmap is showing 43.30. That's it. That's the only note on there worth mentioning. Everything else is noise. It's like 100 points, 100 here, 200 there, but everything else there's 838 at 430 or 43.30. That's the only thing. It looks like they're going to bring us right to it, and who knows if we're going to get a bounce. This is straight sell. Nice, Double D. Well done. So, two very bearish trend days in a row. And we're going to look to just play this down right through S5. We're already through S5. In fact, I need to go ahead and calculate S6, 7, 8, and 9 because we're probably going to hit it. Let me come out here. I need to take, bring this over here. Just bear with me. I'm just going through trying to get S6 and 7. What are the chances we'll hit 330 today? I think pretty high. No, it does not. E-Trade does not cause a charge of commission if you cancel an order. Only if it's submitted executed order. Yeah, that's what I know what you meant. 430. Yep. So ES is 9 points above this bookmap level. Just give me a few more moments. I'm almost ready for these levels. We've got 43.31 is the big dog. Currently looking at 43.40 puts on SPX. I am glad I closed out my PCSs yesterday. Well, everything's getting the hammer right now. When this is a market-wide sell, so everything is getting hammered. Absolutely pummeled. God, new lows on the day. New lows on the day. I think we're going to go down to 43.30 at least right here. I would expect some kind of bounce at 43.30. There's just a huge order there, but not a long-term bounce, a temporary bounce. If you're going to play a long position there, I would play scalp, very quick scalp. I do both. I'm only doing the commons in long-term stuff, but options for this purpose is the only thing I'm playing here. Bitcoin's under 40K. I'm about to, Steve. Below here, it's going to get real ugly real fast. For sure, Zippins. No, dude, if you want to put on some put risk, do it. Just put a stop on it. Just put a stop. That's the only way to get into a winning position. That's what you got to do. It looks like we are going to touch this 43.30 though. Yeah, VIX is absolutely is roasting right now. 42 at 24.41 off of the 1980. It's up another 8% today. Yeah, this is definitely a very quick trip to S5. I mean, out of the gate, just continuing what happened yesterday. Still looking at the 43.40 puts SPX. You have confidence in SPY hitting 430. I do. I do. Which would be a 21-point sell-off from yesterday. Or a 20-point sell-off. I think we only hit 450 yesterday. I am. Yep, 422. Yeah, I wasn't anticipating playing all that much today because I anticipated flatter action, flat type of action, maybe choppy downward pressure action, but this has been pretty bearish, so which is fine. I've had a fantastic week. Still no release of pressure. It's right. Yeah, let's take a look at Tesla Bookmap. That's fine. We got a few minutes. Right now, it's way below or way over in no man's land. 1050 or 980. Tesla is not going to hold up an entire market. Tesla is just one ticker. Everything dumped. XLF dumped, XLV, all the tickers on tech dumped. So everything is dumping. It's not just, I mean, it's not just everything. Everything is dumping. And yeah, Tesla is not strong. I mean, yesterday Tesla was up 10% and the entire market put on one of the bearish days we've had this year. So I mean, you can't prop up the entire market. All right, we have a very small touch of green coming in, right back to the 8. And I'm going to take a look at the other EMAs I've got. How are we looking on them? I've got S6 and X6, 7, 8 ready to go. Still haven't, we've only touched the 21 one time, and we're still down here under the 8. Don't the computers see your stops and trails, though? If there's a pause, they seem to push upwards toward. I mean, from a market wide, yeah. I mean, not me particularly, but market wide, yeah. They have that data. They see that data. We have 1 hour until UK closes, and that's what they're doing. And we finally have a little bit of green there to save the day. Still holding S5. Like that. What up, what up, what up, what up? So we've got 433.81. Little green, little green. Man, look at that candle. Smashed. Let's see. Walmart's up 20%. Nice, Mod Concho. Look at that reversal. Wow. Look at that reversal. So did that actually get to the 21? Almost touched the 20. That was almost a 21 touch, which, if you see yesterday, I'm going to post this for y'all. Hold on a second. Let me turn that off. You're good to go. If you look at yesterday's charts right here, I'll put this on YouTube, that we followed a couple of times. We kind of just up and just kind of breezed on the 21, and then the big jumps hit the 34 and fell. But that's the extent. We never reached the 34 on the 3-minute chart. Just kind of just followed the 8, and then a couple of touches on the 21 and the 34. So that's kind of what I'm looking at today. It's like following these EMA trends downward. And if we're going to breach them, we just had our first breach today of the 8, or the first major breach of the 8, big pop, and then came on down, and we're still touching the 21. Didn't even touch the 21 there, but came close. Apple's still trickling up green. All the market is just still following the same suit. NASDAQ flipped it red. Booyah. Look at that. Will S5 be the low of the day? Or are we going to keep on going down? That's the trick. That's the question. Let's go back to ES. I'm still on Tesla there. About to put in, we're going for another test of low of the day. There it is, new low of the day, SPY. Wow. All right, here's the first real test of that 43.30. It's 43.31.75 to be exact. Well, looks like we're coming down to test it. Booyah. Here, I need to post these right here. All right, there we go. S6, 7, and 8 are all posted. Amazon's still holding up well. Microsoft, all of tech is still holding off. XLF is absolutely getting destroyed. Financial sector, that's 2 days in a row. The financial sector is getting destroyed. Banks are just getting leveled. Healthcare is getting leveled, and that is just that is roasting SPY. The S&P right now is just getting hosed. The good news is, if you are looking to be bullish, is that the VIX is reaching a point where it may come off just a touch. Volatility has spiked aggressively, and it may start retreating here. We'll see. We're almost to that point. That's this little green line, 2504. That's your last. If you're a bull, that's your last hope. That's your last hope. Is selling PCS still a decent play? If you're going way down there, yeah. In fact, I might do that myself, but I'm gonna have to get way the heck down there. I'm talking mid 4200s for you to even consider doing that crap. Nope, that is not a typo. I did S6, 7, and 8. The trick is, and the reason why you have those emotions, it's a very common subject on the past 2 days. Is like, when do you actually take puts off the table, or when do you exit your puts? And the reason why is because you want the max amount of profit. Obviously, we all do. So when you see a number on your put that come up that's green, like 30% profit, you don't want to take anything less than that. Once you see it like flash up on your broker, you don't want to take less than that. So that's what makes you hold on to a put until it goes into the red, because you still have hope that it's going to go back to where it was, or go even further. So if I were you, I would set a stop where you're happy and content with the amount of profit, and just keep your hands off of it, or break even, or even if you're willing to risk negative a loss, put 5% stop on it, 5% stop loss on it, and just take your hands off of it. And that's what I should have done yesterday. And that is how you get it. You turn yourself into a robot, and you take your mind out of it, and that's how you get a win like yesterday. And now a lot of times, yeah, you may get stopped out, but as long as you minimize your losses, you're gonna have those big. You're gonna be able to identify those trends. Now, I will say this. This is now in fear mode. Like, this is now a session and a half of straight selling. We've gone from 450 to 432. That's almost 18 points in a session and a half. The market loves to pull a switcheroo on you and rage this thing. When everyone's getting fearful, everyone gets on board the bear train, everyone starts shorting, bam, they switch it. And they smoke you. The bonds are starting to come off here, so maybe we'll get a little bit of a relief there. Rates are still coming up though. We'll see if the banks respond. All right, now that the trend is obviously clearly broken, I'm going to readjust these and see just kind of form where the lows are forming and where the highs are forming. Tightening price action. So we've came down. We've had our first little test of the 43.30 there. We got to 43.32. The volume is still there. Nothing's came off. What signs can you look for when a reversal is going to happen? That's a great question. Let's do that. First thing I want to do is go to the 5-minute. And then I want to look at volume. Those are the two things. So I want to look at the 5-minute candles. And I want to look at the volume candles. We see an increasing buying volume here. It's got to maintain. I want to see this candle maintain. You have to have at least one candle close with at least a strong bottom wick or a full-bodied candle, followed by a follow-on. That continuation candle, the second candle, is what's really going to tell me, because this one could come up and we could smash down, or we could follow another follow-on candle. But we need that follow-on candle to tell us that we're going to get a reversal. But here's the 5-minute chart. Big top wick, obviously, which is not a good sign for the bulls right there. Big, that one just flipped red on buying volume. No bueno. No bueno. Now, what would need to happen is most likely the scenario is we're going to come down, touch this. This liquidity is going to go to zero, and it's going to bounce. This happened last week or 2 weeks ago. There's a very, very large node. We touched it. This completely cleared out, and then it rocketed 30, 40 points. So that's probably the likely scenario if it comes down there. I would be hard pressed to think this continues to just smoke downwards, because it's got to have some sort of retracement, and then maybe go back down the rest of the day. But we'll see. That's just I'm forming a thesis as we go along here. Play it as it comes. That is the 15-minute Heikin-Ashi chart for the past 2 days. Not one single, well, no, I take that back. 2 green candles during the trading session the entire time. Do I think 43.30 is likely with this slightly changed price action? You talk about 43.30 or 4300? I still think 4300 has potential with this amount of weakness. I think there's a lot of potential. Maybe not at the moment, maybe in the end of the close, but yeah, I've got it. In fact, but Spot Gamma gave me access to it. I've got so much going on right now. I'm trying to. I haven't learned how to fully incorporate it yet. I'm not comfortable with it yet. All right, there it is. All right, that level is now gone. 43.30 is now completely gone. If we're going to bounce, it's going to be now. Completely took off. That was a huge order they just took off. It's now or never. It's now or never. Bam. It's now or never. There's nothing above. Absolutely nothing. That was a huge level. Massive. And it was just ate up. Gone. So unless they put it back on. This is unreal. Amazon about to put in new lows. Microsoft, Apple. All of tech looking heavy. XLF is still sitting at session lows. XLV. No strength whatsoever. And NASDAQ is about to test session lows again. SPY is just popped new session lows again. And looks like we're going to go to 4,300 right here. It's make or break time. Man, I wish I would have held that PDS. That would have been nice. From a couple of weeks ago. No telling where that thing would be at right now. No, they did not put the 4330 back on. It's gone. The next level, you guessed it, 4,300. If you want any hope of being bullish, now it's got to be now. We have 30 minutes until UK closes. All right. Another test at the top of the trend. That's right, LaFrance. Check the 5. Let's do that now. There's a 5-minute candle. Low volume still. We're at the top of this little wedge. This downward descending wedge. The book map, that 4330 is gone. It's either 4300 or 4370 at this point. Another top wick on the 5-minute. Yeah, but Tesla's the only one with any green. Everything else is straight down. All of financials, all of tech, all of healthcare straight down, except for Tesla. They're the only one. Nice, Uncle Bill. Good stuff. Big red on the SPY. Coming back down. Another test of session lows. Twitter's also green. Yep. Good old Twitter. Curious to see what's going to happen with them the next few weeks. So the 8 EMA is starting to turn horizontal. It's going towards that. A lot of top wicks right off of it. VWAP is way up above us. Is airing a 4240 PCS risking the situation? Who knows? When stuff like this happens, who knows who knows how far it's going to go? Right now, it can't even break through the 8 EMA, much less try to think about climbing. Yeah, Bookmap is a nice tool, and that's what that is. In fact, this week Bookmap has been kind of useless. This week in particular, because there's been low liquidity around, so it's hard to say. Like yesterday, it was just blasting through everything. It's got its moments to shine, but this week was not it. But it is a pretty awesome tool to add. This is looking like the opposite of that bull run that we had end of March. This looks like the opposite of that. Just straight sell. Absolutely no buyers whatsoever. It's interesting. Consolidating price action. It's tightening with this descending wedge. Probably going to go lower. There it is. New lows again. Look at that. Wow. NASDAQ, new lows. S&P, new lows, testing the bottom, and we're going to 4,300. There's 432, 431.99. We're now through S7, or S6. We're now through S8 or 7. Now we're going to S7. Dang it, I just screwed that all up. We're through S6, we're through S7. Now we're going to S8. Well, just put a position on and set stops. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. All the yeses. That's right. "25 minutes till UK closes." Let's see if that brings any relief, or this is just going to keep on dropping. Premiums are starting to get juiced. 43.20 puts are going for $22 now on SPX. VIX is still spiking. Yeah, I'm almost there with you, Johnny. I'm almost here with you. I never said high liquidity levels are support and resistance, Michael, on Bookmap. All right. There's a first little green pop. Yeah. Yeah, we just hit 25,000 last week, I believe, on YouTube. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been growing fast. Yeah, it's the biggest green candle we've had in 2 days, and it's being sold off. Yeah, that was the biggest green we've had in 2 days. Well, no, that one right there. So let's see if it can hold. That's the first test of this little wedge that we've got going on here, right off the top. Interesting. Interesting. That's some pretty decent buying volume there. That's actually some legit buying volume. We'll see if this is just short covering or if we're going to have any kind of reprieve, because that's decent volume across the board. We're above the 8 for the first time. It seems like forever. We're above the 21 briefly on the ES. There we go. Nice, Johnny. Well done. So the next volatility event we've got is European close coming up in 20 minutes. Nasdaq, decent green. Now, you're taking some pretty wild liberties with my comments. Now, I never said that there were supports and resistance. I said that levels of liquidity that we want to monitor. And when I mean that they're just eating through those levels, that's all I mean. You said yourself that more than 3 red days on SP. I was talking weeks, the weekly candles. It did happen once. That 3 weekly red candles. We had another time where it started out very red and then they immediately flipped it green. But yeah, talking about the weekly chart. Rejection coming back down. So they put on a little bit here at 43.24, still not 43.30, and it's still very, very much light compared to what it was. We're holding right here at S5. Back to S5. There's that 5-minute coming on back down. And then I want to make my way over to the 30-minute because we are now working on the 4th candle. 4th 30-minute candle right there. It looks like it wants to reverse, but so far no dice. No dice. The bond started out pretty strong, but they are selling off. There's TLT. And there's the 1 year for the TLT. So we're entering the point where I'm going to start focusing more and more on playing some calls on TLT. I'd like for it to come back down and then play a little more for a bounce there, but a very dire situation there for the bonds. Coming down to that 119 area. I would be. I would be. And that'll be a sizable position. So when that happens, I'll definitely tell y'all about that. I'll definitely post that one. Because that'll be a pretty confident position when it happens. I'll say that. No reversals till 350. That would be pretty bearish. Yeah, XLV does look like it's basing a little bit. XLF is still flattening there, so we'll see what happens here in the next few minutes. Michael, are you in the Discord? All right, so a little green there. Still holding S5. Are we going to go? They're still flat too. They're just basing right here at their level, German and the London market as well. Did shorting it ever enter my mind? No. Um, I mean, it obviously in hindsight it looks like a very safe play, but it's one of those things like when does that stop falling? It's been the fastest and most precipitous fall tank we've had on the bonds since its inception. So where do we go from there? But I will be looking down in the 118s, lower, maybe even lower 119s, upper 118s for a longer term call. Yellen speaking. Oh, Biden speaking twice today. Bam. I don't think the first one should do much, but maybe the second one. Remarks on lowering costs. That might be an event. That'll be at during market hours. Although he probably won't come on till like 7. All right, 12 minutes of the UK. It's starting to come down just a touch. S5 appears to be the level of the day so far. Just holding right there. We kind of came down. Now we're right back to it. Yeah, the first thing he's talking on 12:30, which is 2 hours, a little more than 2 hours, and he's going to be talking about Earth Day. And then he was going to be talking about how to lower costs for the American families. And that's at 3:30 Eastern. What do you think the bonds bottom out? I'm looking for 118. I'd love to see 118. If we get 118, I'll be taking a sizable position. But we got to be patient. It's going to chop around between then, but we got to be patient. Yeah, let's knock out the Biden talk. Please. Is a 4,400 call credit spread too risky? I think that's fine. I think that'll be fine. I would. I mean, the pin risk at 4,400 today was high. If we pin right there to it, I mean that would be an incredible V recovery. But you never know. I've seen crazier things. Right now, we can't even break over the 8, so who knows? Yellen says the Russian invasion will extend inflationary pressure. She also said inflation may have peaked. Those are contradictory sentences. I see a tweet that says, I'm old enough to remember when the bonds didn't move 2% a day. Isn't that true? What's up, Ian? I am. Good morning, good morning. 7 minutes. Looks like we're coming back down. Can the 4,400 be a magnet today? Could it? I mean, you never know. But that's where we were originally supposed to pin today, and obviously they just kind of shifted things lower. And now we're hovering 433. Watch the VIX here too, because it is at this level where in April 6th, 11th, 12th, 18th, and then again today we have adjusted from there. So the VIX does like to extend to this level and then retract. So let's see if that continues that pattern or if we just blast right through it. There's a big red on SPY and the NASDAQ. 5 minutes till the close. And here's the VIX. Let's take a look at the bonds. They're still flat. Let's take a look at XLF. I'm going to put two levels. Let's do 36.39 alert. And I'm going to do right here 36.81 for an alert. Yeah, Night Fox. Yeah, that's the theory. Is that if it starts retracing from here, we'll get a little bit of buying relief into the markets. Volatility come off just a touch, but right now, I would watch the VIX to see if we get any kind of relief here, and any kind of relief up on the SPY. But right now, it's just not moving. We're just kind of pinned here, right at S5. Yeah, she's been speaking for a bit there, John. She's been on there. Tesla, once again, is the only green ticker on the watch list. It's the only thing. Do you think the chances of a 4,300 test are 50-50? I would put it at 50-50. Yeah. Do I think we're going to go straight down 2 days in a row without any kind of bounce? No. But I've seen, like, who knows? I've seen crazier things. Well, I don't really blame you for taking calls and expecting a bounce. I mean, that's as long as you set stops, but just, that sounds like you took a rather large position size. Nice, Andre. All right, there's the close of the UK market, and they dropped. They've been selling off the last few hours, and there is their little dip into close. So they are now closed. Let's see what happens with our markets now that they are closed. 11:30 Eastern Time. Question for you: had a great entry on SPY, was up around 30%. Huge green candle came and took out on the minute. Panicked and exited. Ended up exiting about a 7% loss. Very frustrating how this candle's counter swing. Yeah, I would assume you were talking about one of these candles. I mean, especially if you're playing 0 DT positions, that's a big jump. So that would stop you. That would stop if I was playing zeros. That would stop me out. But that's the nature of the beast when you're playing 0 DT positions. I know it's great to think about holding on to them for 400 or 500%, but that's the nature of the beast when you're playing zeros. It's either set a tight stop, get stopped, and then re-enter, or don't set a stop at all and weather out the big drawdowns. That's the only options when you're playing zeros. Can't even hold the ADMA right now. It's actually is the ADMA. It's coming down. Price action might as well be super glued to the 8. XLF is still trading in between my alerts. XLV is rounding up a little bit. Look at that. The bonds are still sideways after coming down just a touch. 10 years retreating a little bit. And the book map still has all that right there. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Look at that. Straight down. Straight down. God, this thing is going down. Going down. Look at that. Can't even hold S5. Here we go. Another test coming down through the 8. 80 MA is now pointing down again, and we're just popping new lows, new lows, new lows. Wow. If you're not going to play zeros, just go out little farther. It all depends on your risk tolerance. You could play 5 DT positions. You could play 2 1s. A one and a 2 is a great place to be because you could still weather out the storm. They don't move quite as aggressively if you're as doing zeros. Now, obviously, you're gonna trade profits too. All right, XLF is now tanking. Big move on XLF, and we're coming all the way back down. All the way back down. How does the VIX look at resistance? It's still holding. Still holding. NASDAQ is about to test session lows again. SPY is coming on down. It's got about another 30 cents or so until it gets there, but it looks like it's going to plow right through, right on down. We're going to touch 43.25 again on ES, and here's yet another test before we fade absolute destruction. $43.75s, $43.60s, $43.60s. I can get $4 for those $43.60s right now on SPX. $43.70s, $22.30. Might put on some aggressive CCSs here. If we don't bounce here, we're going to 4,300 in a hurry on ES. You're going to have to use simpler words, Roscoe. Hyperbolic. I'm just a pilot. What's up, I am? Can I address? Yeah, that's what we're here for. Let's talk about it. Yeah, CCSs, for sure. New lows, SPY across the board, NASDAQ, and VIX is 2485. Booyah. Are we in a bear market? Yeah. I think it's safe to say, yeah. We had one of the strongest bull rallies in history a month ago, and we've sold it off. So yeah, I would say we're pretty much at least trending towards a bear market pretty aggressively. All right, NASDAQ is 13,573, SPY is 431.89. 4,330. Selling pressure is increasing. I do think we'll hit 430. There's zero strength here whatsoever. We're plowing through everything. I do think we'll hit 430, 4,300 on SPX today. Because of the volume. Look at the volume. It's increasing. Look at this right here. I mean, the selling pressure is increasing here. We're continuing to eat through all of those levels. Look at that. Booyah. Not one single bounce in 2 days. That's amazing. All right. And at the money call. No, negative. Negative. There's nothing strong right now, Alex. When the market's blown through every single strong resistance the past 2 days. We are now down 20 points in 2 days. So, I mean, there's no strong resistance at this point or strong support. It's going to go through everything. Literally, I mean, I've had S1 was very considerable. S3 was big. S7 was big. And we've blown through every bit of it. 431.27 is S7. The only thing left is, no, we haven't got to S7 yet. So we're almost at S8. But S7 is considerable. But when a market is doing this, I don't have faith in any support. I'm just going to play it all the way down. Lost all profits. Next day, more losses. April, 7 green days in a row. This Tuesday, 1 small loss was not accepted. Back-to-back losing trades. It depends what the losing trades were. What are the losing trades? Yeah, God help us if all the big tech stocks miss next week, which is probably what's happening here. They're probably just kind of pricing in the rate hikes and missed earnings, if I had to guess. Wow. There's 431.53 on S20 or 431.27. God, I have to zoom out to see all this red. I think this is the biggest bear continuation we've had since January 19th. So we went from 432. That was yeah. And this is go from 450, 20 points. Oh, I think that did it. 447. Nope, beat that. So this matches January 20th. This is the biggest bearish move since January 20th and 21st. Holy smokes. This is pure institutional selling. They're just tanking it. And it's gone. That's right. Let's see where the VIX is at. VIX is now over 25.33. Nice, JCA. Nice. Nothing has any strength, Ziggy. Nothing. It doesn't matter. We are in full sell-off mode. There's no supports are going to have any kind of support. This is just complete sell-off mode. That March runoff wasn't really on lighter volume. The initial days were very high. The last of the day was lighter volume, but that's pretty much all bearish. All bullish runs start to die off energy at the end. I mean, that's how they die off. But the first few days were very, very high volume. One of the 3 highest candles we've had in a while. Oof. All right, we ate up 43.25. We ate up 43.19. We ate up 40, and we're going for 43.14, but it's going through everything. It looks like they're pulling us to 4,300. Big red candle coming down. Sell-off mania. Wow. Maybe we can get some puts down the 4100s. Let's see. Now it's time to look at some PCSs. How far down can I get? I don't want to touch anything over 4250. I think we could really sell here. Nope, 4270 is probably about the closest I can get. Yeah, a little bit, but we've got a little bitty node here at 4315, but the big node is 4300. So, and I think if it's possible, we have re-entered this wedge. Look at this. Look at this. Oh no, not quite. No, didn't get there. Squeezed too much. I guess the inverse. It's entered the inverse trend. The inverse wedge. Yep, just keep playing puts on the downtrend, man. That's all you can do. Just put on a trade, put on some stops, and just keep playing the trend. Very, very, very strong bear trend. Just keep playing it, and then if it does, I'm not saying if it does bounce, who knows when at this point, then start playing calls. But right now, just keep on playing puts all the way down. Set stops, play stops. Set a play, set stops. Wow. The inverse wedge. Yeah. SPX is down 1.6. The NQ is down 1.3. And I think that's 600 points from yesterday's highs. Very huge loss. And let's go back and take a look at the Heiken Ashi just so we can laugh at it. Let's go to the 15. Look at that. So I'm going to go back to the January play and look at that. So far, so even that had some buying, even that had some buying. Even that did. Ooh, yeah. Wow. So from what I can see from the 15-minute Heiken Ashis, these are the two most bearish days we've had ever. I don't see anything. That I went all the way back to December. This is the only time that we've had 2 days back to back with not a single green candle. There's that. There's that. Nope, see there's some there. Yep. So VIX just popped a new high again, 25.26, blasted through that prior level, and we're keeping on, continue on going. Do you think 4280s, 4260 PCS? No, I'm not. If I thought, I would be putting those on myself, but this is. I know we all want to think this can't fall anymore, but there's no support. There's no buying pressure whatsoever. This is the two most bearish days we've had the entire year of 2022. And I'm not putting any PCS risk on whatsoever. Unless it's down to lower 4200s, and even then, it's who knows. Are you still thinking about playing straddles? Yes, I am. In fact, I may do some that are just a straddle, some strangles. I'm not sure, but I will be putting probably some sort of play on for every earnings event. I think the moves will be so precipitous that it's going to be easy money to do a straddle. New lows NASDAQ, new lows SPY. Still going down. SPX now 43.18. This is institutional selling. Do not get in the way of institutional selling. Now it's getting to the point we're entering liquidation areas where this is just going to go. If I had to guess, Ved is very, very busy right now. I'm sure he's got a lot of people calling him, so just give him a break. Well, I was going to wait till May to liquidate my portfolio, my long-term portfolio, but this is because I didn't think this was going to happen this soon. I thought this would happen post earnings, but they just wanted. They kind of snuck it. They very sneakily put in the whole kit and caboodle, the whole 9 yards on 2 days on us. Another low, popping lower. Yeah, Yeah. Oh yeah. The time's coming. I'm liquidating my entire long-term portfolio. I won't have a single holding. I thought I was gonna do it in May, but I don't know, man. This does not look good. This is going to the lower 3,000s. It may not be till late 2022. It may be this summertime. Who knows? But it's going to happen, and I'm not willing to risk it. I put a lot of hard work into building that portfolio over the last 10, 15 years, um, and I'm not going to lose all that. I think here's the deal. Here's my thesis. The risk is to the downside. Am I going to leave this on there just in hopes we go up to 4,800 when I could see this drop all the way down to 3,000? Well, like I said, I was thinking about May. But this is a little crazy. Include everything, 100%, zero, cash. Booyah. Move it to real estate when the housing market crashes. This is straight sell-off. Look at that. Craziest thing I've ever seen. We are now 20 points on SPI, high or lower, with no bounce whatsoever in 2 days. Yeah. Everybody does. Everybody wants to play counter trend now because it's like when does it bounce? I get it. But that's what I'm saying. Play puts, put on stops until it bounces because I don't think it's gonna get a bounce. At least not hard. You might be able to scalp a call every now and then, but why didn't you liquidate last year or earlier this year? We've been going down for a while now. We went up to 4,600. I thought we might trickle around 45, 4,600 at least until May with a little run up in earnings and then sell off. But it looks like we're gonna go all the way back down. Yeah, yeah. Don't fight the trend. Have you watching DIS? Love the birds in the background. No, I haven't. Wow, man, they're falling off. Look at that. Good. Go to zero. All right. Man, it's like no matter what you do, you can't hold a put long enough. It doesn't matter what you do. It just keeps on going. Do I think this finds any support at 430? I don't. No. This is institutional selling. So this will bounce when they decide that they're done. God, I just can't hold the position long enough. It's crazy. Still going down. $4,300s. Yeah, I'm scalping the crap out of this, Alex. But you just can't hold the trade long enough. Save. I've done a few futures, but just, options. VIX is, man, it's still going. VIX is, wow, 25. See this? Look at the difference in price action. This is interesting to note. Look how this price action here is different from what we saw here. Well, I guess it's the same right there, but this is different from this. This is the computer's kicking on and just dropping it. Just dropping it. Still dropping. Full on liquidation. Nice. Well done. Good stuff, Sergeant. Well, just Sergeant. Jeez Louise. Y'all with your names. You're killing me. Should we move from 422 to no? I mean, with this downward move, the zeros are working beautifully with this downward move. So, do I see below 4,300 today? If this keeps up, yeah. I mean, we're already 13 points off of it. Had such a good profit yesterday. Good wins this morning. Closed it and enter my current puts, which also a good profit. Nice. There you go. Do it. Just set a stop loss and just take hands off of it. Think we're going to go down a full 100 points today. Looking like it. It's looking like it. Can you tell us your next earnings straddle play? Whatever the next earnings is, I'm going to play a straddle on it. I don't care what it is. Any of the big dogs, I'm playing it. So I'll go ahead and tell you. And probably pretty sizable. There was no news that pulled this market down. We had the Tesla earnings report come up. They popped it up and then pulled the ripcord. Or I guess didn't pull the ripcord if you're talking about parachute. It jumped out of a plane. left the parachute in. Yeah, we're going to do it. I didn't anticipate having this much action today. So I figured we'd talk about it a little more, but this has been a little crazy. Been busy, been busy. Hey, another top wick on the green. I'm just doing at the monies now. At the monies. Bonds are dead flat in all this action. 10 years are dead flat in all this action. But SPX is down almost 2%. All right. I know when we rally for a few days, you say it just gets silly. I get the headwinds facing. Do I think this is just silly? I mean, of course it is. But all we can do is play it. You can't control the market. You can't do like a mind Jedi trick and get it to stop and bounce. So all you can do is play it. And we'll comment. We'll have some fun on the way down and comment on it. But yeah, just play puts on the way down. I have 433 puts I got earlier. I think the trend continues next week. I'm not going to hold anything over the weekend. Face ripping rallies, face melting sell offs. I'm not holding anything over the weekend. Yeah. Between CCS, PCS, futures, data plays, which one you suggest is best to learn next? If you're assuming making the jump from just basic options, I would say theta plays, which are CCS, PCSs. That'll teach you how premium moves. That'll teach you better. It'll make you be a better trader. It'll teach you how things adjust, how theta works. Man, NASDAQ is still selling off tech. I do. Biker chick. This is what happens when tech holds up the market for 2 years and then the bubble pops. And down we go. Down we go. New lows, SPY, there's 429. SPX is 4311. And down we go. Here we go. Down, down, down. Let's go to 4300. Although there's a reason why I'm not putting PCSs on. I know you're asking if 4280s yet. I'm not putting anything on. I'm not putting any risk on at all. There's no way I'm getting in front of this. This is like getting in front of a steamroller and a tank all at the same time. No thanks. I'll play nice and easy. What happened, Doc? There you go. $598. I'll take it, Night Fox. I'll take it. Here's the deal. When this, I'll say when/if this bounces, you'll know it. It's not going to be a little dinky green candle. It's going to be a massive 1 to 2 inch candle on your charts. You'll see the bounce, and it'll continue. It's not going to be meh. So trust me, you'll know it. Just keep looking. There you go. That is what I want y'all. That's the discussion I want to have. Is that stuff. There's a reason why I'm not putting PCSs on. Just want to say your comment yesterday, sweating 4220, saved me by closing out PCS very late. There you go. To me, that's a win. Awesome stuff. Oh, thanks, Harpston. I appreciate that. That's what I was trying to do. A little entertaining, if not educational. Would I rather have this price action or choppy? 2 days like this in a row is tough to trade. Yesterday was beautiful. 2 days in a row is a little aggravating. It's a little tough to trade because it plays with your emotions so much. It's exhausting. It's mentally exhausting when I do this. Not to mention I'm trying to help as many people because a lot of people are getting hurt by this. So I'm trying to do my best. It's hard for me to. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I personally do very well on choppy days. I do very well on when I especially if I catch it at the right time, obviously. But 2 days in a row of this is tough. Hey, there's a decent green. Good question, though. Yeah, that's some decent buying volume, but no movement. No movement. Once again, can't even break through the 8 EMA. 8 EMA might as well be kryptonite. Yes, but don't do that until we get everything confirmed. We're almost there. We're almost there. I'm waiting for the website to be officially up and running, so don't go cancel anything yet. I haven't released any details yet. Once it's officially up and going, I could tell y'all, hey, go there now, and then we can make that transfer. Thanks, Serge. Appreciate that. God, what a day. Green candles against sold off. Trend continues. Trend continues. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call that a morning. I am starving. I got to go eat. I didn't eat. I haven't had my protein shake or some breakfast. So I will. Let's see if we can jump on later today. It looks like nothing's going to change. Just continue to play puts, set on stops, and then go from there. So let me know if you got any questions about anything. If you're having issues with positions, there's a lot of people getting hurt right now. Get by this. I get it. I'll see what I can do to help y'all as much as I can. I tried to warn y'all as much as I could yesterday about PCSs. Some people caught it, which makes me happy about that. I will see you all a little bit later today. See if we can get some action going. Just be safe. Be safe. Don't play calls until we get the bounce. Which right now, unlikely. So I'll see you all a little later today. I'm out.